Well, hello there. Welcome everybody to another ARL race, the final one scheduled for 2020. What a year it's been for the league. What a past year it's been for the league. It's been a year with this league, and it has been a bit of an up and down roller coaster type of show, you can call it. Well, obviously, if you don't know already, if you don't see by the game, we are here for the F1 2017 social race at Malaysia. The Malaysian Grand Prix. We're bringing back this track for ARL, this time a social race. It is throwback time, I guess you could say. Good to see a lot of drivers turning up. Good to see the turn up. You know, there's a lot of things different from F1. Let me turn the game volume down. There's a lot of things different from F1 2017 and F1 2020. There's a lot of things very different. First off, want to explain, you won't see the penalties on the side. You won't see the track map. You won't be able to see much else, really. But yeah, we can be able to see what fuel mix they're in. We can be able to see what else. Stuff like that. So, yeah, that is, of course, good to see. A shorter qualifying, of course, in this game. 12 minutes. So we got a quick way to explain things. By the way, starting off here, I am PMBO5, and joining me is GSR Chili. I know a little bit of a late introduction, but that's fine. Glad to have you on board. Mhm. Yeah, it sucks to see. This is strict corner cutting, by the way. It's a 50% race, 28 laps in this Grand Prix. It's a social race, so of course many people won't be practicing or taking it seriously. Some people wanted to practice, get used to this game. Some people wanted to say, hey, guess what? I don't want to do too bad in this race. I don't want to look bad, and that's just the way it goes. So let's talk about the league's condition a little bit. I'd say throughout the offseason, we've made progression with the league. Of course, Chili, you became admin not too long ago in the league. You know how things are going here. I'd say things are doing very good progressively, and things are progressing at a very rapid rate. A lot of new recruitment, a lot of new rules, a lot of new things. Well, something that'll be released this week is a brand new schedule, F2 being added. You know, just more things happening. We have a lot of things going on in this league as of right now. Talk us through a little bit and talk us through what you think of it, because a lot of things are changing at a very rapid rate in this league. Make sure you include audio, by the way. You tell us to include audio. You tell us to include audio, yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, in terms of the Season 4 plans that we have, it's been going really smoothly. Obviously, admins and Season 4 planners have been working together to rework the league and add new things, such as F2, which will be coming, which I'm really excited for. Like PMB also said, we're also adding, new rules. We're gonna get a brand new calendar for Season 4. We're getting a lot of new stuff, and it's gonna be really good to see. And it's really gonna help out the league a lot, and that's why we're really excited for Season 4. So, this is about probably the halfway point of the off season with the social race, as the new season starts, early January with preseason. And yeah, everything's been going really smoothly right now, so really happy to see that.
Yeah, I think the progression of the league has been amazing. 8 minutes left in this session, by the way. It's very much shorter. F1 driver sets the first time. Obviously, you won't be able to see the track map on the side. We'll have to click to go to race director for the penalties. And there's a crash. That's a racing point off. I think that is Sam Cole. He's out of the session. And that is his session done. He's crashed out. John in the mediums goes up to third. Pluto fastest in the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso on this game, Force India on this game, Sauber on this game, a lot of brand new things. You have Beatnik reuniting with Kagoda as teammates back in the old Tier 2 days. Interesting camera angle right there. Also, Rapid Extreme Tax as teammates. You also have GSR Luke and Sync both in the Williams. If you remember back to Tier 3, Sync hasn't made a start since then at the end of the season. These two reuniting as teammates. Very good to see by them. V2 in the Ferrari. I remember back in the NEOR days. John can remember. I know he will. And there's a few others that were in URA or in NEOR that remember. V2 back in the Ferrari. V2 goes second. It's a bit of a weird atmosphere with this F1 2017 stuff. It is very weird to see. Matty Mumu, by the way, is doing a little driver swap during this race. It is Blue Goggy and Matty Mumu both driving. So Blue Goggy will be doing qualifying in the first part of the race, I think. And Matty Mumu will finish the rest of it. Very cool to see from those guys. Dominant Square and Axe were the first brother pairing to do this back in LDRL, Milo Gaming's league, in France a few weeks ago. These two choosing to do it this time. Very good to see by them. So yeah, Blue Goggy qualifying, Matty Mumu gonna race, it looks like. Bennett Pluto and the Toro Rosso both gonna be teammates. John and the Haas. I remember, it's still Ferrari engine for him. But I remember back a while ago, I want to say it was the URA, or no, the NEOR days, one of the two. John was in the Haas. And I remember back very far back then. And Rapid Extreme with a little slide from him. And we saw how close the time trials were. It'll be interesting to see how close the race is between these drivers. 5 minutes left in this qualifying. A little bit shorter graphic than what we're used to seeing in F1 2020. But yeah, just quick recap. Season 3 here. You know, I'd say overall looking at it, and this is a tricky pit lane as well, so just keep that in mind. But just to keep people in mind, though, Season 3, you know, that was a great season, you could say. 8 different championship battle in Tier 2. Many records broken. Jack 7 wins in that season. First time winners you saw. Tier 3 championship at Bennett. One of the most dominant seasons ever. We saw a lot of things happen. And there's Beatnik spun round. That's backwards right there. Don't get disqualified, Beatnik. Yeah, we saw a lot of things happen in Season 3. And I think it'll bring an interesting Season 4. I'd hope so. But yeah, just a quick thought on Season 3 and what we saw as well as Utah Elephant joins in.
Yes, Season 3 was a great season. I mean, although I did join mid-season, the races, from what I've actually raced in and from what I've watched on the stream, it was a really good season. A lot of great races, a lot of great memories that happened. And it was very competitive, especially Tier 2, and especially, you know, even the front of Tier 1 and, you know, even the front of Tier 3. It was really competitive in all 3 tiers, which is something that when you're looking at leagues and you're looking at, you know, how is this league competitive, you know, compared to another league you're in, for say, you look at ARL and it's like, it looks really competitive and it looks really, really fun if you can get up, you know, even in the midfield battle, you know. But the races have been great this season, and hopefully Season 4 can be the same way, which I really hope it is. Because it was a blast last season.
It really was. I really enjoyed Season 3. I think, you know, the commentary aspect, a lot is changing for the next season. We mentioned, of course, earlier, Chili, that this could be your last commentary for a while, considering the fact that if a Tier 4 doesn't happen, this could probably be your last commentary for a while. Now, if a Tier 4 does happen, you are expected to be one of the main co-commentators for that tier, so that's good to see, at least if a Tier 4 happens, which, by the time trials and everything else, it does look likely, because considering there's about 20 to 30 people, maybe more, yet to submit, and if they all submit, of course, that's up to them, but that's what I'm saying, that if a Tier 4 does get created, which is expected, you would be commentating that, but if it isn't, this could be your last commentary for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely sad, but at the same time, I've had a lot of great memories commentating, and, you know, it's been a blast, really, ever since I started commentating Tier 3 races last season. It's been a blast, and if I don't get to commentate anytime in Season 4, hopefully I will be back for Season 5. Really looking forward to really what's to come. Even if I don't commentate, still be watching the streams and stuff, and, you know, it still be really good commentary either way. We have a lot of great commentators in this league, and so even if I can't do it, I know somebody good is replacing me. So it might be my last commentary, but it's definitely a special one, especially in F1. This will definitely be a good memory to end off with.
Yeah, especially considering Season 5 is coming up soon. The end of the session is also coming up soon, too. But, yeah, F1 Driver's actually left the session. If you could try to get him back in here, that would work out very well. I'll try to as well. But, yeah, looking at it, though, you're still going to be commentating Rocket League. You're still going to be doing that, which looks like you're the main commentator for Rocket League. So that's a good thing. But on the racing side, of course, things could possibly change. Of course, it says F1 Driver's left the session, but it shows him still in multiplayer Malaysia. So, of course, I got to help with that and got to change that, or help get that fixed. But yeah, there's gonna be coming another as well on a lap. Gonna start one, I think. Callum as well. He's at sector 1 on a lap 2. Kagoda starting a lap in his Mercedes. F1 Drivers join back the session. John goes second in his Haas. He is a 10th behind, and F1 Drivers left the session. You know what to do right there, Chili. But yeah, I think last season Polo God goes to the top. 131.5, fastest time yet. The McLaren is on top. We're used to seeing that from season 3, but now it's season off season. We're seeing that, and yeah, F1 Driver's gonna have to get another invite. I'm gonna have to invite him again.
Yeah, it's again.
But regardless, yeah, a lot of things have been happening through the offseason, and it'll be interesting to see how next season plays for it. But of course, this game, very much different, very different handling model, and that's what the drivers are kind of expecting here. As Luke's got disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. That's going to end his session. Yeah. Down in 13th, F1 Drivers join back the session, but there are going to be cars coming to the line. There's a Ferrari, a V2 Combat, going to start another lap here. And hopefully everything else is up to date with light glitch, qualifying order, whatever, because there's been issues with that. And Bennett, at the end of the first sector, he was a 10th up right here, but at the end of the second sector, which we should reach about now here, pretty soon, we should be able to see where he goes. He goes for a slide, in fact, now 5/10ths down. Coming to the line as well should be a few more cars. That is going to be Kagoda, who goes second, and I told you that the field would be even matched here. Look at how close it is at the front of the field. It is pretty close, and much closer than before. You have Polo God 3/10ths up right there, going to come into the pits, not going to be where he wants to be. GSR Pluto's completed the checkered flag. He's going to stay third. John and F1 Driver both in the pits. V2 Combat, though, at the end of the second sector, we're going to see what he can do. How can he progress through this lap while you have Bennett coming to the line, not going to improve by the looks of things, while V2 Combat, is he up on his time right here? Coming to the end of the sector, I don't see much improvement. Bulugagi, that is, in Matty Mumu's car, retiring from the session, but Rapid Extreme goes up to 7th. Improvement for him. Beanick at the end of the second sector, now to the third sector here. Following behind V2 Combat, still people on laps. Sync as well, hits the curb. You don't want to go for a slide right there. You can make a mistake like that, but coming to the line is a few other drivers. It is going to be V2 Combat first across the line from the looks of things, with a big train here. Beatnik and Tax. V2 Combat, can he steal pole away? Can he go back to his F1 2017 days? He is going to go only 4th. Beatnik behind goes 6th, and Tax as well, getting a little bit of slipstream. Tax goes 4th, and that top 5 is within 3/10ths. Top 6 as well within 3/10ths too. That is sure close. And F1 Driver on an outlap right here. Gonna get blocked, I think, and yeah, it goes into the wall. That's his qualifying over. Not gonna DNF him, in fact. I don't know why, but that is qualifying over right there. Polo God Kagoda. It's an Irish front row as we stand. Irish drivers on the front row for this F1 2017 social race.
Yeah, that was a great qualifying session. The top 7 were within 5/10ths of each other, which is really close, and it's something we don't really see often in our regular F1 2020 league grade. Like you said, the two Irishmen get the front row here. Polo God and Kagoda, obviously both tier 1 drivers in this league. Everybody's up to qualify on the super soft tires, so it's gonna be interesting to see, especially because the tire wear at Malaysia isn't the greatest, I'd say. The super softs were out really fast, so I'm surprised to see nobody going on to the alternative strategy here and starting on either mediums or softs to try to do that one stop. we saw John at the beginning of the session go out on the medium tires, the white wool mediums, and he didn't set a bad lap, but he went back out on the super softs and set his actual quality lap. So it's gonna be interesting to see tire strategy. There's a flying Red Bull. I don't know.
What? What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a flying Red Bull on my screen. I don't know what you saw, but that's funny right there.
Well, I didn't think we'd be mentioning the word in F1 2017, 3 years back, the words glitch, because there definitely are a few in this game, but I didn't think we'd be mentioning that word today in the stream. But hey, we're here, Rapid Extreme reading up. We're going to go through the favorites on the formation lap here for this race. We should be able to get in 3 favorites. But yeah, like I said, Season 4 commentary, we've got some plans for that. We've also got the Season 4 schedule and F2 schedule not too far from being released, so you should be seeing those in the next few days. Also, I'm pretty sure with the TTs, with the way things are, Milo Gaming, I mean, pretty much confirmed Tier 1 commentary at that point as well. And I know there's already a clip of that from the chat.
Yeah,
quite interesting to see, but yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, formation lap. Soft tires for Utah Alphin, who starts 14th. GSR Luke with the medium tires. I don't think it's got F1 driver back in the session, though. That's not good for him. That's going to promote people up a few positions as well. So here's the favorites. Polo got in that McLaren. You know, I think you could say he's won everything but a race in ARL. So far, so good for him on pole. It's the 2 Irish drivers on the front row. A very more even field here between the drivers. You see a lot of Tier 3 drivers up toward the front of the field. This is very interesting to see. Tier 3, Tier 2 drivers up toward the front of the field. Polo God, he, as things stand, is on pole. And we've seen this many times. We saw it back in Season 3. Can he carry this momentum from the off-season all the way to Season 4? This will be interesting to see. He is probably projected to stay at Alfa Romeo. We'll see what the team decides to do with him. I'm going to go with V2 Combat as well in that Ferrari. Back in the F1 2017 days, from what I remember, he was very good. His race pace was very good. Now, can he get that race pace a bit better? And can he challenge for a win? We'll have to see. And I'm also going to go with, well, why not Sam Cole? Back here in the Force India, back in 13th. What can he do? Tier 1 driver, not a good start to the off season really with this lineup. He's already had his team leader that he had from last season, Thrasher, not going to be continuing as a team leader. So he's got to try to maybe find a new team. If he wants to stay with Utah, he may choose to do so. But he won't be having that new, well, that old lineup with Haas. And 13th right now for start. We'll find out. Anyways, Chili, 3 favorites from you on this grid.
First favorite I'm gonna go with Gisler Pluto, starting P3. He'll probably get a really good start, and he'll probably try to run away with it. He has been probably not the qualifying he wanted, but I feel like he could definitely pick up the pace in the race and challenge for a win. And final favorite, I'm gonna go with Matty Moo. Although Bugatti will be starting the race, I feel like after the Bugatti stint, Matty will be able to pull it back and challenge for top 5, maybe top 10, I'd say. But it's going to be really good to see, though.
Well, a very rare off-season event that we're seeing here in ARL. The green flag's coming upon us very soon, though, but a very rare event that you will not see in ARL for a long time to come. The 5 red lights do come upon us here in Malaysia. It's a one-off event. It's the F1 2017 social race. Here we go for the lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Polo got an amazing start. He's going to go ahead of Kagoda. The Force India onto the grass, but the slipstream down to turn 1 will make the difference. A front wing broken at the back. There's been Sync spun around, I think, as well on the front straight, but Kagoda trying around the outside to take the lead from Polo, the other Irish driver. Now you have Pluto around the outside of Kagoda, and now it's Tax as well up to fourth place, challenging John, challenging V2, but for the lead, it's Polo, head of Pluto, head of Kagoda. Kagoda docking out, trying to go down the inside of Pluto, can't do nothing there, while he's got Tax on him. The 2 Mercedes drivers from
it's contact,
trying to challenge Pluto, and there's a crash at the back. That is John, who's been spun around, as well as V2.
Wow, yeah, unfortunate for John there. I think John got loose off of I believe that is turn 4. Not really too sure, but he got a little bit loose and hit hit into the side of V2, so that's really unfortunate for him. The lead stays between them is Beatnik trying to go down the inside of Bennett, and actually no, around the outside of Bennett, sorry. And Beatnik will get up to P5. He overtakes Bennett. Polo God has already a 1 second gap to Kagoda, so he's looking very good at the beginning of this race. And that start was pretty good for most drivers. We saw Sink at the back spawn off the start. It's unfortunate to see for him. He's all the way at the back of the field. And Polo God, it looks like to be controlling this race so far, but we'll see. As Pluto is closing up to the back of Kagoda, will he go for the move into the hairpin? I don't think he will, but he gets a good switchback. He gets a great exit, and I think he's going to go for the move on Kagoda here. They're going to go side by side down the front straight. Who will get the better speed here? And I think Pluto is trying to challenge back. He's going to try to go around the outside. He is going to go around the outside. He's going to have the inside line for turn 2, but I think Kagoda's will keep the position.
Kagoda with that second place, the Mercedes driver only 1.6 seconds behind Polo, the race leader, only 1.6 to say, but you have Tax, who's challenging these guys, and Beatnik, a tier 2 driver from last season, in the mix with these guys as well, but considering how to Tax, you would not be saying that as much if it was last season. Of course, Kagoda had his moments where he was up front, he had his moments where he was not doing so well, but besides that, he is now contending with these guys as we got a yellow flag. That is Bulgogi who spun round, and another car who spun round that looked to be V2 for a moment. It may have been Utah Rapid who got collected in that little collision there. But between the race leaders, it's got closer. Polo, that gap for the race lead now to 9/10 with Polo Kagoda. Pluto not too far behind as well. He's 5/10 behind. While you have Beatnik closing up to this train as well. While you have Bennett as well, 6th place in this race. Very sideways, very under series setup it looks like, but he is in the mix of things with this race lead. And Sam Cole, one of my favorites as well, who is up there in V2 Combat. And Utah Elephant going out of the race there on the side of the road. That's the McLaren driver out of the race.
Unfortunate for Utah there. I think he just missed his braking point or something, but he's out of the race. We saw Bulgogi spin at the beginning of lap number 3, or I think the beginning of lap number 3. He spun. So Maddie has the big task at hand here, Gimby. He needs to try to get back into this race somehow once Maddie starts taking the wheel. As Rapid Extreme and GSR Luke trade positions, just a reminder, Luke ran a little bit wide at that double right-hander in Sector 3 that could cause some gravel on his tires, and Luke is on the mediums as well, so he's probably going to go for a one-stop here, which is very interesting to see, and Rapid Extreme goes by him on the super softs, which should die out within these next few laps, as GSR Calaman's a little bit wide out of the S section, as Beatnik and
by Tax as well. Yeah, Tax made a mistake there at the double right-hander. That's a tricky corner for drivers. And the corner before that, the little S, the left-right, is a very tricky corner. And Tax made a mistake right there, allowing Beatnik to go through. Beatnik, the tier 2 driver, almost up into the podium place as he's 1 spot away from it. He's in 4th place now. And behind that, Bennett, in DRS range of Tax as well for 5th place. He's trying to challenge him as well. Tax, I mean, we've mentioned it, his 3 wins before in ARL. France twice, and Brazil. We can see on his day that he can do it. He just made a mistake right there, and I think that's really what's going to cost him. DRS down this little back straight and down on the front straight as well on the start-finish straight. We'll have to see if these guys choose to use it and see how effective it is. It's really not that effective on this game, but how will these drivers manage that, especially with straight line speed, their setups, whatever it may be? Because we've seen before these yellow flag that is Sink spun around. That's the double right-hander. Not a good return to ARL for him. He did not choose to race in Season 3 after not having the game for a little while. He was unable to race at the end of the season when he got the game. So, of course, not good luck for him. V2 Combat got by Luke as well. And there's a spin almost. I think that was Rapid Extreme or someone who lost the rear of the car. And now that's Bulgogi coming into the pits right here. Trying to slow it down to 50 miles per hour. And I think it will be a trade between Matty Momo and Bulgogi right here. Don't know yet. But Tax is as well ahead of Bennett. 5th place in this race. 8/10 between them. And then in front of that, Beatnik is closing to the back of Pluto. Beatnik, a really good time trial at this track. It looked like he had the pace in that time trial that I've seen. Off traction, You'd say medium. You could claim medium is faster in this game, but he looked like he had the pace to contend at the front of the field. We don't usually see Beatnik contending at the front of the field. His only tier 1 points was back in USA. So, yeah, I think good to see that happen. Sam Cole as well goes by Bennett. Did not catch that. Obviously, these graphics are so small to the point where I can't really catch everything, so it is a bit harder to do so. And you will notice that the safety car is not as frequent on this game compared to F1 2020. That is due to the fact that the safety car patch was to make it more frequent and make it come out more. That was changed in F1. Beatnik on the back of Pluto right here. Gonna go to the outside line at turn 1 right here. Gonna try to go around the outside. Can he try to do so? He's got the traction. Can't do enough right there on Pluto, while Tax is caught up to these guys and is in a little battle for 3rd place in this race. We have Callum and Rapid Extreme side by side and wheel to wheel down at turn 2 to turn 3. This will be Callum ahead for that position for the time being, while you still have the battle for 3rd place. Pluto ahead of Beatnik, and the challenge for the lead, the 2 Irishmen leading 1-2. It's Paulo ahead of Kagoda, and Kagoda might get that DRS back. He's within 9/10 now. To have DRS in this game, and in F1, you have to be within less than a second of the driver in front, and Kagoda was doing that for the time being, but has now lost that second range. He's now within it, and Bennett goes by Sam Cole, who's going for a spin now. Big crash into the barrier. He straightened it out, though, but he continues going in a straight line, but Sam Cole spun out of the right-hander. That might be the pain of off traction that you have right there, but not so good for him, and yeah, he's gone off again.
Yeah, sector 2 is really tough here. It's such a hard sector to get right, especially if you're Sam Cole, running no traction. It's hard to get right game. Overall, it's a really hard sector. And I'm keeping my eye on JSR Luke back in 10th place. He seems to be struggling on those medium tires, but he has been picking up the pace a little bit, trying to catch V2 Combat in 9th. As we see a battle, I think Rapid Extreme is gonna try to and Beatnik
as well. Is down the inside of 3rd place. Pluto started to cut in there because that battle is shaping up right there. I thought there was going to be a move made, but there wasn't. While you have Callum and Rapid Extreme. Rapid Extreme getting ahead of Callum. Callum still challenging around the inside line for turn 2. The little hairpin, the 90-degree type of corner. He's got the traction, Callum, but it's Rapid Extreme who's fighting back at it. Rapid Extreme up to 7th place in his Red Bull. You see the netcode is really more effective in this game than F1 2020. So Callum trying to put up with that as well.
Yeah, and I knew, especially, obviously the DRS, or I shouldn't say DRS, but the 2 straights at Malaysia are really, as Callum runs wide, almost a spin. We were just talking about Callum there, and he's running wide again in a fast right-hander, and that's going to allow V2 Combat to get by, and there's a little bit of contact there. V2 Combat almost spun there, and Callum keeps the position.
Tax and Beatnik for 4th place. Sorry to cut in. They were just battling for a moment too. I think Beatnik is going to stay ahead for the time being. They've both lost time to Pluto. That's not good. Kagoda's got DRS on Paulo. Not going to catch him this time, but we should be seeing the leaders pitting in the next few moments here. They should be pitting, but what were you going to continue to say?
I was just saying that V2 almost spun there from, I believe it was JSR Callum, and now V2 Combat has DRS on Callum now. He's going to go for the hairpin. And I think he's going to get it here. He does get it, as JSR Pluto and Bennett both pit. Callum runs a little bit wide off the hairpin, and that's allowing V2 to get a better exit. V2 has DRS. He moves on, as a Rapid Extreme moves up into 5th place in this race. Since Pluto and Bennett both pit. I think they went to the soft tires. Yes, they have went to the soft tires. So, might be a 2-stop for these guys, depending on how long these softs last. As you see John on the mirrors, he might be going to the end here. I'm not sure if he will or not. Not really sure how long mediums will last in this game. But we're seeing a little bit of on-track battles here as Kagoda and Polo God are going to get into Sector 3 here. And Kagoda might try to go for a move here on lap 7, unless they both pit, which is definitely a possibility here. And yeah, it's basically it's the front 2 who are closest together right now. So we gotta watch this battle at the front here. It's gonna be a great battle between Kagoda and Polo.
Yeah, Polo lost the rear right there, and is gonna be challenged for the race lead now because here comes Kagoda! Kagoda to the right side now, fighting for this race lead. We've seen the lead change for the first time in this race. Now a new race leader has been produced. It's Kagoda with the race lead before the pit stops, but Polo is challenging back at it out of the final corner. Can't get enough traction. It's Kagoda with the DRS. Polo with a little bit of slipstream, not as effective, but Kagoda is your new race leader, while Beatnik is coming into the pits for Mercedes. He's making the first pit stop of the race. He's going to choose to go to the yellow tire, which is the soft tires. Weird saying that enough of a team, but it is a different tire. Rapid Extreme as well, Callum as well, trying to slow down their car to pit. Rapid Extreme, we should be seeing him go soft tire, the yellow tire, or the mediums, the white. It is going to be the soft tire, the yellow, and I think Callum will do the same as well. Callum, yes, it's looking like a two-stop here. John, Matty Mamu, Sink, all of them choosing to go for what could be the one-stop, and Polo runs a bit wide right there, off the track for a moment in the grass right there. Could have picked up a warning by the game. Track limits on this game, I will say, is very consistent compared to the new games. Strict corner cutting is enabled, so we will be seeing drivers pick up warnings. So obviously it's hard to corner cut here, but we should be seeing people pick up warnings. As we saw Kagoda, he picked up one warning. And speaking of penalties too, Luke with a 3-second time penalty, a bit shocking to have that happen this early in the race. And you got to be careful not to clip the curb right there. And Sam Cole is out of the race right there on the side of the road.
Has he spun it?
He has.
That's wow. Yeah, I mean, you could see that Sam Cole was struggling with the spin earlier. So I don't know, maybe he just wasn't used to no traction at this track. We don't know though, but he spun. He's out of the race. Unfortunate for Sam Cole there. You know, he probably had the pace to compete at the front, as he does in our Tier 1. But yeah, Sam Cole's left the session. He's out of the race as the leaders pit, Tax pits, Kagoda pits, Polo God pits. Tax fits the yellow soft tires. Polo, I think the camera angle is weird. Polo goes for the soft tires as well.
No, mediums.
Does he go for mediums? Oh, he does, yeah.
Kagoda gone to the softs, and Kagoda is actually going to be jumped for this race lead by GSR Pluto, who undercut him very well indeed. Pluto, net race lead for him, while you have Luke in front, Kagoda's brother, who could try to cover that off. He's on the mediums. He started on the mediums, if I'm correct, so he's going to try to stretch this out, while V2 as well. He's going to try to stretch this out on the super soft tire. He's going to try to go a little bit longer than the rest of the guys did on their super softs. What tire does he select to go to? That should be interesting to find out. Rapid Extreme with a 3-second time penalty as well.
Yeah, I think Luke probably go for a one-stop here. He'll probably pit for super softs, but it depends how he's managing his tires. If he manages his tires well, he will definitely go for super softs down the race. But if he doesn't manage his tires well, he'll go for softs. He'll do just a pretty easy one-stop. I think picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's not really having a great race down in P13. Like you said earlier, not really a good way to come back into ARL, you know, down in P13. But looking at a battle between Beatnik and Polo. Beatnik is starting to close to the back of Polo. And with the assistance of DRS for Beatnik, he could close in as Kagoda and Pluto also good battle here. Kagoda with the DRS. Will he gain on Pluto enough into turn 1? I don't think he'll be close enough, though. Yeah, he's not going to be close enough. As now Beatnik trying to close up to the back of Polo God. He can't, though. Beatnik does have tire advantage over Polo. So we'll see how that comes into play. But Beatnik can't get the traction down, and Polo keeps P5.
Yeah, I just kind of noticed, you know, again, Polo on those mediums, and I think he's just going to be eaten up right there. Depending on how these guys do go for the two-stop, will the softs be able to make it the rest of the way? I don't know, but it should probably be a two-stop considering what we've seen with the tire life, and Bennett picks up a 3-second time penalty as well, so that could play a big difference if a VSC safety car does choose to come out. Kagoda losing the rear end, getting a bit of understeer right there, going to lose DRS by the time being almost for that little back straight, while Pluto actually may have DRS on the car in front GSR Luke, so that's not going to help Kagoda one bit. And with DRS in this game, on F1 2020 and 2019, the DRS is more effective to where you can catch up to 3, 4, 5 tenths at the very most. And very minimum on a straight like that. With this game, you can only really gain about a tenth or two by the looks of things, maybe not even. That's how effective this DRS is on this game. It's very, very different, and I think it's something to prove for in the future that, you know, if we go back to do F1 2017 social races in the future, now people know, if they didn't know before, that DRS, it's not very effective at all. So, of course, that's something to take note of. And you see Pluto was 5 tenths behind right here. He's about going to be 4 tenths behind by the end of the straight. I don't even think he's going to be... Yeah, he's not even going to be 4 tenths behind. So, DRS, depending on the setup Luke was running, DRS was not effective there for Luke. Or, sorry, Pluto. And Tax as well got that fastest lap right there. He stole it away. Obviously, in this era of Formula 1, fastest lap was not a point. Neither was pole in ARL. We didn't even have a league going at that point, but pole would be a point, I guess you could say, at that point. Some nice background noise.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Well, Pluto as well in the back of Luke. Pluto trying to challenge Luke into the double right-hander. They're going wheel to Pluto on the inside of Luke. Is he going to give it easy? Yes, he is. Kagoda go through as well. Luke having to run a bit wide off the track for a moment on the skid pad, while Pluto 2 seconds within V2 now for that race lead, while Kagoda net race lead it is with Pluto. It is 4 tenths between them, and it is still very close between the both of them.
Yeah, I think that move, Pluto needs to get that move done to, you know, move on with the race. You know, you have people like Kagoda behind, who's now 2 tenths behind Pluto. Kagoda's going to have the DRS here. And like you said, 1 to 2 tenths DRS gains. Will he go for the move here into the hairpin? He's coming right back to the gearbox of GSR Pluto. He won't go for the move yet, but he probably will go for the move into turn 1. But Pluto gets a really good exit, though, compared to Kagoda. And Kagoda is going to be struggling here. As V2 does go into the pit lane, he'll probably be opting for the soft tires. But Kagoda is not going to be close enough to get Pluto. Kagoda was really, really close to Pluto, and he couldn't get him. As now Beatnik and Polo, Beatnik going down the inside, I think that is Polo. He will go down the inside. He will get moved on, but Polo's on the inside. There's a little bit of... And Polo will get the position, but there might have been a little bit of damage to one of them.
No.
Don't...
No.
Was there not?
There wasn't. No. I think that could have rather been lag that got Beatnik to the right side, or Beatnik was trying to give room, or Polo punted him. We didn't really see much contact there, but I guess that's how effective things are with contact. And again, this race lead is still close between Pluto and Kagoda. This is reminders of how the Tier 2 championship battle was. It was this close between Pluto and Kagoda. Now Kagoda's got the traction through the double right-hander. Inside, he's not going to choose to do so. Polo had a Luke as well. The 3 Irish drivers running in the top 4, so very impressive by them, representing their nationality to be running in the top 4. Polo, Luke, and Kagoda, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. While again, this race lead is 2 tenths between Pluto and Kagoda. We might see a great last laps battle between these two. A little slide by Kagoda, but got more traction out of it than lost time. DRS is available for him. He's got it active now, 3 tenths down the straight. He's actually losing a bit of time compared to Pluto. Can't gain enough right there into the final corner, but it's going to be DRS once again on this main straight to Pluto. And this is just flashbacks of the Tier 2 championship battle and the Tier 2 season, where these two were going head-to-head every single race, it looked like. And these two were battling it out. It's Pluto ahead of Kagoda.
Yeah, and Pluto's doing a great job of keeping Kagoda at bay here. And just a reminder as well, there is no overtake mode. There is a DRS in this game, and that probably takes into account of why the slipstream isn't that great in this game, and that's why Kagoda isn't being able to pass Pluto, because there is no ERS. There isn't that overtake button that gives you so much extra power. There isn't any of that. It's just pure, fuel saving and
skill.
Yeah, and skill pretty much. There's no ERS involved, as Luke Beatnik and Tax here in a little bit of a trade. Tax right to the back of GSR Luke. He seems to be struggling with his mediums. Tax closing right to the back of Luke. Almost a little bit of contact there. I don't think Tax will get the move done into sector 3, but he probably will get the better traction. He probably will get the move in the DRS straight. We look back lead. Could go to 5/10 behind GSR Pluto.
Oh, Tax is off. Luke is off.
Oh.
Luke is off, and the Williams, he ran wide and got into the grass. He's going to lose positions from it, and now might be gained on by Bennett for 6th place in this race. Luke going off in the grass, and he's got more grass on his tires. He's now into the gravel. He's off the track, and that's allowed Bennett to go through. And Luke, his chance on the mediums is just, I think the mediums have died out, and that's what's caused him to go off right there. He was running 5th place just ahead of Tax. That's really changed the outcome of where he's going to run, because he should be, once he comes out of the pits, down in 11th place by the looks of things. So not a good start, not a good halfway through this race really for him, while his brother Kagoda running up in 2nd place right now, challenging for the win.
And yeah, Luke does pit from the mediums. He does pit. Well, it's interesting to see what he's going to go on this year. He'll probably go into the soft tires. Actually, no, he puts on the super soft tires. That's very bold strategy from GSR Luke. That's really bold. I don't think they're going to make it to the end. But we'll see as John just pick up the position over Luke. John's still on the medium tires, though, in 10th. So he's from that start, he's not been good. But Kagoda now closing to the back of Pluto. The gap was about 2/10 from what the leaderboard said. But he's getting really close, and I feel like Kagoda's starting to get a little bit impatient here, sitting behind Pluto. As looking back between the 8th and 9th, GSR Calm closing to the back of Rapid Extreme. He would want to get it moved on. As Rapid Extreme, speaking of him, picks up a 3-second, runs a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Calm to get such a bad exit. Calm is going to go down the inside. Into the left-hander. Does he get the move done? He does get the move done. A little bit of sliding for both drivers. I think Cal will get the move done. Rapid Extreme lost traction there as Luke picks up another 3-second.
This race lead is close once again. Kagoda and Pluto both have 1 warning apiece right here between the race lead, and I think the previous 2 laps before this, it was a 10th splitting the both drivers, and now Kagoda has more momentum down the inside of Pluto. Not enough right there. Couldn't do it right there at all. And keep in mind, I think these guys in the lead will still have to pit again as we're halfway through this race. But yeah, yeah, I think looking at what we see right now, I saw previous 2 laps, as you saw me check race director, as Pluto gets a bad exit. Here comes Kagoda around the outside. Kagoda for the race lead. Kagoda around the outside trying to make the move. Cannot do so. He has to stay stuck behind him and has to hang in right there. He cannot get the race lead. He had 1 chance at it, but right there I think was a missed opportunity. But he's got another chance right here on Pluto. He's much closer this time. Down the inside, here he comes, and Luke is out. Luke is retired, but down the inside Kagoda is. Can't get enough of a run right there as John pits and Luke out of the race in the pit lane, that is. So that's where he retired. But yeah, 1 warning by these guys, and the last 2 laps before this were in fact a 10th faster for Kagoda, 136.2 for Kagoda. So Kagoda, you could just tell he's a 10th faster right here, and that's making the difference between this race lead. And that is, yeah, Sync out of the session right there in the pit lane. He's retired at the start of the pit lane, so not good from both Williams drivers, as Kagoda has got more momentum this time for this race lead one more time. It is game on between these two. Kagoda trying on Pluto, DRS enabled into turn 1 this time, but Pluto maintains the race lead into turn 1 this time. Pluto's got it, and he's keeping it.
Yeah, and at this point, Kagoda has to be starting to feel a little bit frustrated here. He can't get past Pluto, and you know, and there is no ERS, there is no like, he's having a difficult time, and he has to be starting to get a little bit impatient right now and frustrated that he almost got moved on. As we see, yeah, Calvin Rapid Extreme, a little bit of weaving on the straight there.
Questionable.
Yeah, but Rapid Extreme closing up to the back of Callum, though. Will he try to go for the move? He's not close enough yet, though. And I think Callum will hold on to P8. And as we've seen during this race, turn 1 is definitely the most overtaking opportunity. As now the gap between Kagoda and Pluto, we're just at 2/10 there, coming back to the race lead. This is a battle we're going to be seeing for the rest of this race, I feel. You know, they're pulling away from Polo, who's 3.4 seconds back on the soft. So this is basically it. This is the battle for the race win right here, unless one of them makes a mistake. Pluto does it nicely, but Kagoda gets a really good line through the fast right-hander. He does have DRS, 2/10 back. Will he go for the move here? I don't think he'll have enough momentum, but here he goes to the gearbox of Pluto. Will he go for the move? Down the inside to the hairpin. This is for the race lead. Kagoda down the inside. He will get the move. A little bit of sliding, a bad exit from Kagoda. But now they are side by side down the front straight. Kagoda really needs to get this move done. He has DRS. He's going to go around the outside of Mr. Pluto. The gap is right about at 0,000. Here comes Kagoda around the outside. He's going to have the inside line to turn 2. Will he get the move done? They're still side by side. Now into turn 3, and I think Pluto will just about hold on here.
Great racing between the both of them. I think Pluto's got the edge of that one. He definitely has the lead now. If he didn't before, he's got the lead. He's got the race lead one more time. And Kagoda struggling out of the corner. So does Pluto. And this is allowing Polo to catch up. 3/10 gain by Polo right there. Taxes on the back of Beatnik. Beatnik was gaining on Polo, but now has lost time to him. Rapid Extreme on Callum. Can't get a move right there, but this race lead is close one more time again. Here comes Kagoda back at it. Second place right now he's at, but he's trying to go for the lead of this race. Down the inside, his sync is out. DRS disabled.
Virtual safety car has been deployed here. That was still a thing in F1 2017, but that's going to be crucial for Pluto. He can rethink of his plans here as the virtual safety car will, push Kagoda back a little bit. But Kagoda, he's probably feeling really frustrated right now. He came so close to turn 1. He couldn't get the move done, but now under virtual safety car, he will have to do it all over again, and that's not going to help his chances of winning this race. But he's showing he has the pace to overtake Pluto, which is something you really like to see if you are a Kagoda fan here. But he just hasn't been able to get it done, and I think Kagoda is pitting. Yeah, Kagoda and Pluto, the 2 race leaders, are pitting, and I'm going to assume they're going to pit for the super soft tires, as Polo also follows him in. Beatnik stays out, though, and DRS is able, the virtual safety car is out, and Beatnik takes the race lead.
Kagoda, I think, just got held there for a moment because of the Red Bull of Tax. He just got held for a moment, and so did Tax right there. Both of them got held, and they're not able to accelerate right there out of the pits. Paulo to the softs, Bennett to the softs, Pluto to the softs, but Kagoda and Tax, both the Mercedes drivers from Season 3, elect to go to the super softs. They may be very well for now, but they may die out at the very end. And this has now allowed Beatnik on the soft tire to have a 17-second lead. And what this race definitely showed so far was that it's a much closer race between the Tier 2 and Tier 1 drivers. Kagoda is not at the front of Tier 1. And people like Polo, Pluto, they're at the front of Tier 1. V2 Combat, stand on 1 lap pace, he's at the front of Tier 1. And what this is showing from people like Kagoda, Beatnik, and maybe even Bennett sometimes as well, that they can contend with them. They can be up front with them. This is much showing as V2 gets into the grass right there. I think Polo follows him as well. And V2 goes for a slide into the path of Polo. Right there. That was close. But Polo goes through.
That was really close between V2 and Polo. That's something definitely something Polo did not want to see there. It was really close. That almost ruined Polo's race. If V2 just came a little bit closer to him, that would have been Polo's race over. But you see the gap between Pluto and Beatnik. It's going down. Beatnik might have made the mistake here of staying out. Because Pluto is going to be on super soft tires. They're going to be, or actually no, he's not on the super soft. He's actually opted for the soft tires. My mistake. Kagoda was the one on the super softs. He pit. Beatnik does pit for the super softs, as I just noticed. And now that puts Pluto at a 2.3 second lead over Kagoda, so Kagoda really needs to push here.
Tax trying to go on V2. V2 runs a bit wide, but V2 steers back into Tax. There's contact between the both of them. They almost collide to where they're off track, but luckily they go out ahead. Beatnik and Rapid Extreme as well. Contact made between the both of them. Beatnik came out into the path of Rapid Extreme, and Matty Mumos picked up a 3-second time penalty. First penalty for him in this race. But yeah, Beatnik coming out of the path of Rapid Extreme. That's changed where Rapid Extreme runs in this race. He's down in 7th, and the gap between the leader, you see how much closer this field is compared to a Tier 1 or Tier 2 or whatever it may be race without any safety cars. No safety cars involved in this race, just the VSC. And 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 9 seconds, 16 separate the leader, and Rapid Extreme goes for a spin. He's into the barrier. There he goes.
I knew as soon as he got loose off that grass, I knew he was gonna spin there. That was, oh my goodness, that's unfortunate for Rapid Extreme. He's having a little bit of trouble getting out of the grass as well, as he's cutting the grass like Mercedes did at Austria there. But let's see where he rejoins. He's gonna rejoin P10 behind John, who actually put in the fast lap of the race on the soft tires. I don't know if you picked up on that, but we see, and actually, never mind, Kagoda picks up the fastest lap. A lot of fast lap trading is going on here. I'm watching Tax and Polo here, because Tax is starting to close in on Polo a little bit here. And this is for the last podium place, as V2 pits. He might go for the Super Softs. He will go for the Super Softs here. And that's going to promote him down, I think, into about P8, as he's going for a front change, which is definitely going to put him back.
I think, VSC.
And the VSC.
Yeah. That's a second VSC. VSC's popping out like it's no tomorrow. Rapid Extreme coming into the pits as well. He broke a part of his front wing from that collision with B-Nick and actually steers into the pit barrier right there. That's a bit of a mistake made by him. V2, yeah, on the Super Softs, comes out behind John. So yeah, soft, super soft between this battle for 7th place. And yeah, V2, I think he picked up a bit of damage from right there. But so far, clean race, very quick VSC. In fact, DRS enabled Rapid Extreme, fixing that front wing right there in his Red Bull. He is going to go for the medium tires. I don't know if he had any softs or super softs left, but chooses to go to the mediums, the white compound tire. Matty Mumu up into the points as well in his Renault. Weird to see him in a Renault. I'm always used to seeing him in a McLaren, because that's the car he's always raced in ARL. But here comes V2 on John. John lost the rear a bit there. John goes to defend on V2, and V2's looking to the inside. John actually moves under braking right there, but V2, a nice move around the outside. He's gone through. V2 is up to his 8th place, and John struggled for traction right there, struggled to maintain 8th place in this race, and he's now gone down to 9th. Well, the race lead again, 1.2 seconds right here, and like you mentioned, it's no ERS, no hot lap mode, nothing like that. It's pure skill, DRS, rich mix, nothing else. It's pure skill. That's what this game is, and that's what I love about it. It's based off the pure skill, and we get to see who is who can really show their talent in this race. Tax is challenging Paulo for 3rd place in this race. You could say, especially when Tax changed to off traction, Paulo bottle job, you know, that's what they both have been at times in ARL. They've both been bottle jobs. Of course, Paulo looking for another podium in this social race. Goes a bit wide, touches the grass right there. Don't want to do that. Callum ahead of V2 as well, 7th place in this race. The Force India versus the Ferrari. We saw the last time we saw Force India versus a Ferrari that I can remember of, when it was called Force India, was back in 2017 at Canada, when it was for what, 4th, 5th place in that race. That's what I remember at least. But yeah,
I believe so.
Still a battle between these guys, and the race lead, a second between them. Those super softs might die out, and I think V2 is running in the back of Callum right there. May have picked up a bit of wing damage. I don't see any bit on the end play right there, but it is Callum ahead of V2, and yellow flag right there. There's a yellow flag. Gets Rapid Extreme out of the session. He's retired at the pit lane entry, in fact. That could bring out a safety car, but V2, another passer on the outside, another overtake right there. He's got the move done around the outside. Callum challenging back. V2 has got 7th place. And V2 making another move yet again around the outside.
And I keep coming back to this race lead here. The gap between Tax and Polo. Tax, I think, is going to get moved up, but Polo back down the inside. Little bit of contact made, wheels banging. And I think Tax will get the move done. He does get the move done. Just noticed that as well. But the gap, back to what I was going to say, that the gap between Kagoda and Pluto has really gone down. It's now 6/10 back to when it was 2.3, I believe, after the pit stop. So Kagoda really catching here, running onto the grass a little bit, trying to use all the track limits. And Kagoda, he's been trying all race. Like, if he doesn't get this, he's going to be so upset after this race. That he's not going to pass Pluto, as the gap is now 5/10 between the two of them. And Kagoda, you can tell, is really catching Pluto. The tire difference is definitely playing a factor here, but he will have DRS coming into Sector 3. Let's see if any of them make a mistake into the fast right-hander. No, it's pretty clean, but let's see what kind of exit Kagoda gets. Kagoda gets a pretty decent exit, actually. He did get a really good exit, actually, closing in on Pluto, but I don't think he's going to get the move done. At least for now, but we'll keep watching this race. It has John and Callum, and that's Callum into the wall.
And he's broken a bit of his front wing, I see right there. I think he's just kind of stopped there on the track. John waiting up for him. Yeah, John may have felt it's his fault right there. And yeah, I think John's waiting up for him and saying, hey, that's my fault. Callum not really choosing to go right here. John just saying, hey, that's my fault. DRS disabled. This has brought out a virtual safety car, which has stopped the battle between Pluto and Kagoda. What was for the race lead, Tax and Polo as well. And yeah, John, I think crashed into Callum right there. Felt, hey, that's my fault. I need to give that position back. That's kind of unfair. And John, I guess, doing a favor right there for Callum, giving him the position. Fair enough then. VSC probably not going to be out for too much longer, but the gap now between the race lead is second between them, 9/10 under this VSC. Just 5-6 more laps to go, and we'll be by the end of this race. DRS enabled. Kagoda's got a good restart in this VSC. Pluto into the grass just a little bit. The double right-hander now. Kagoda challenging.
And here he goes. Let's see. Will he do the same thing that V2 tried to do? Pluto defends well. Kagoda will not get the move done. But Kagoda gets a pretty decent exit on Pluto, though. The gap is now within about 2/10 between the two Tier 1 drivers. And Pluto seems to be struggling a little bit on those soft tires, as Callum is now retired from the session into the pits here. He'll probably put on the super softs to go to the end of... Now onto the back of Pluto. Kagoda has the DRS. Will he go the hairpin here? Gap is now within 1.5 tenths. Will he go for the move? He's going to go down the inside. Will he get the move? He does go down the inside. Really close between the two drivers. Kagoda doesn't get a great exit, though. Pluto does get the better of the exit, but Kagoda has DRS again. Will he go for the move to turn 1? He's going to try it. He's going to go down the inside. Pluto, but Kagoda sets back out of it. That's really interesting, as I think there's yellow flags for something.
Yes.
Not too sure, but he backs out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, still close between this race lead. 5 laps to go this time. Pluto ahead of Kagoda. Toro Rosso versus Mercedes. Oh god, I'm trying to remember. Did we see this back in season 2? Because I feel like we did, but no. I mean, the last time we saw a Toro Rosso car in track was season 2, back at the Brazilian Grand Prix. So yeah, I mean, and the last time it was named Toro Rosso, Toro Rosso won the race, and that was back in season 2, Tier 1 Brazilian Grand Prix. The season finale. So yeah, last time it was named Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso car won the race. So yeah, Pluto, ooh, traction out of that corner, not so well, but he's got it now. He's got that figured out, and Pluto ahead of Kagoda one more time. This battle is still steaming up right here for this race lead, and you know, Tax as well. He passed Polo not too long ago, but let's check the penalties and the warnings between these drivers. So Pluto has just the one warning. The last lap he ran was a 40.7. Kagoda has just the one warning. The last lap he ran was a 40.6, just a 10th faster. And here comes Kagoda back at it. And I'm not signed into Xbox Live.
Oh dear.
I'll need an invite back.
Yeah. Let me see if it lets me invite you.
I did curse it, I did say. I said, hopefully I won't lag out this time. And hopefully these servers are better. But guess not.
Can you join off me?
I don't think so. It's invite only.
Oh dear.
You need to invite through the party. That's what you need to do. Try to invite me through the party.
Oh, okay. It doesn't let me.
What? No. Change it to invite to game. When you see, you know how it says invite more?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I should be at the top of your favorites. No, I'm joking, but yeah. Yeah, I know it will happen. Yeah, it probably will happen. That'll probably be what happens. Yes, but yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yep.
Thank you.
Alright, you should be joining back. Yep. That got fixed. While PMB is loading back in, the gap between Kagoda and Pluto is still at about 5 tenths. Kagoda isn't really gaining much on Pluto now as Super Soft started that down, but he still has the DRS on Pluto. And we gotta see he maybe not John Jones has the fastest lap, 33.3 on the super softs. But Kagoda closing in on Pluto now. He gets a pretty decent exit off the hairpin here. Kagoda with DRS. He's now close within about 2/10. He hasn't been 2/10. There's yellow flags in sector 3. Kagoda trying to go for a move. He can't go for the move down the inside. And the gap is still within about a 10th. PNB should be loading back in shortly.
Yeah, got it.
Has.
I'm here. Yeah, so 3 laps to go now, and Kagoda getting on this race lead once again. He's got to try something in these last few laps. What this shows is the competition level in this game is much more closer. Maddie, that's a glitch right there. You should not be 5th. I think it's trying to fix itself. Yeah, it's fixed itself. Yeah, fix itself now. Yeah. Yeah, 7th now. Okay, so it's fixed itself. But yeah, 2/10s again, and Kagoda always seems to gain through that corner only. And just right here is not able to make the move, but Pluto protects that outside line, and Kagoda is able to go down the inside if he chooses to. He doesn't choose to, in fact. And it said Bennett got by V2. I guess Bennett's up in his 6th place though. That's what the game's trying to tell me, I guess. But yeah, again, Pluto, Kagoda. This race lead is still close, and I think Tax may have picked up a penalty earlier as well. Tax had the 1 warning. Polo had the 2 warnings, in fact, recently. Yeah, so no positions are going to change on penalties by the looks of things. I don't think there's been any other warnings for Pluto and Kagoda. Let me check. 135.0 on the last lap. And as well, no other warnings. 134.9 by Kagoda. So Kagoda, you can tell, is a 10th faster every single lap. And now this lap, let's see what the lap times were between the both of them. 135.1 by Pluto. This lap, it was 135.2 by Kagoda. So he was a 10th slower than that previous lap. So things changed between these two with 2 laps to go. And he's much closer this time on the back of him by turn 3. Can't get enough traction right there, though.
Yeah, Kagoda. He's running out of time here. He's time. He needs to for a cheeky move here, because if he wants this race win, Pluto's been defending really well. You gotta get. Pluto's been definitely on top of things, but this is where he gains 2 sectors. So close between Kagoda and Pluto, but yeah, this is where Kagoda gains time on Pluto here with tire difference, and Kagoda now within 2/10 of Pluto. He will have the slipstream. Will he go down the inside? He's gonna go down the inside. But Pluto defends it well. Pluto gets the better traction. Almost contact between the two. And that was probably Kagoda's best chance there. He came so close. If he's on the inside of Pluto, but he's still within 2/10.
If these two crash, keep in mind, SV Tax is 3 seconds behind this race lead, and he could challenge for the win with Polo just behind and Beanick behind that as well. If these two end up crashing, because they're getting to that point where they could crash, and they've crashed before, back in Season 2, back in Tier 2. These two have history. Here comes Kagoda back at it, and look at the gap between 1st through 4th. These guys are all close to one another, and this race lead is still close. DRS this time for Kagoda. It's the last lap underway here in Malaysia. It's Pluto with the lead, but here comes Kagoda gaining on the last lap, gaining into turn 1 this time. Will he try and move? No, he will not. He is not close enough, but Pluto maintains the lead through turn 1, now to turn 2, and down the run up to turn 3. It's Pluto ahead of Kagoda. Pluto's got enough traction, and let's check the last lap times between the both of them. On that last lap right there, a 135.1 for him, consistent lap times, while Kagoda had a 35.0, so a 10th faster, and that might be what changes the outcome of the race. While Pluto, through Sector 2 now, has got the lead. This is the section of the track where Kagoda gains. Right there, Pluto goes a bit wide. Not enough for Kagoda that time, but through the right-handers right here, it's pad versus wheel, Kagoda on wheel. This is where he gains. He's so close, but just so far away in a way to be able to gain that position. He will have one more opportunity right here for this race victory. They're 3/10 within one another. Pluto leads this race out of Kagoda, the 2 championship rivals from Tier 2. Pluto's got the lead. He still maintains it, while Kagoda, the one challenging through the final sections of the track right here. Pluto with the lead, still challenging. It's Pluto, not going to have DRS, but it's Kagoda with DRS. He may try one last gas, one last dive here. Kagoda, 2/10 behind for this race victory. Here he goes. Will he try and move? He's going to go down the inside almost. He was thinking about it, but switchback is engaged. He can't go for enough, but it's Pluto with the race victory in this F1 2017 social race. Toro Rosso won in Season 2 Brazil. The last time they were named Toro Rosso. They win again. they've got victorious this time. And Kagoda ahead of Tax, ahead of Polo as well. B-Nick close behind too. And he finishes in this race 5th place. Wow. John spins.
What a race.
That
All
was
I gotta
good.
say.
I love seeing that. I want to go back to doing this again.
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This was great. What a great event we had. What a great event. Hello. Wow. What a great event that was. Pluto takes the checkered flag. Tax picked up damage in those last few laps. He finishes the line. He finishes across the line 3rd place in this race. He picked up damage late in the race. Matty Mumu Weaving come home in 8th place, it looks like, in this race. Wow. Well, Kagoda, Pluto, let's talk about that battle in just a moment while we go through our results. Pluto, Kagoda, Tax, the podium, and Matty Mumu. Oh, let's to the lead for a moment right there. That was, I guess, a joke from the game. But Polo, B-Nick, round out the top 5. Then you have Bennett, V2, Matty Mumu, and John, who all finished the race. And John might try to do a little burnout here. I don't know. He might. Yeah. Does a little bit of a burnout, I guess. I guess that works.
Yo, can I
Showing how
ask
great
one
it
thing? Flu, did you also have a glitch for give you the default setup, or is that only me? Because me and B not giving the default setup. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I had no shit in speed. It was fucking.
Yeah, no, I could tell.
Let's talk about that battle, you two. The guys from Tier 2 in Season 2 get another chance to battle it out, it looks like. Pluto, talk about that one. What a race that was between you and Kagoda. Race-long battle. So from the pit stop, you jumped him, and you kept the lead ever since. Kagoda was challenging. What did you have to do to defend, and what did you have to do to keep this race victory and get the win?
Well, I went for the undercut because I knew I was quite a fair bit off Polo and Kagoda. That ended up working out. I have no idea where Polo went. I thought he'd be ahead of both of us. And yeah, all I had to do was save fuel in the corners and use it all on the straights and DRS.
Best about no constant for front. You'd be happy with that.
At least it's a point, I guess. It's all from them leaving the session, basically, so that's what it was. But regardless, yeah, definitely a good battle to see. How happy were you both to keep that battle clean compared to Season 2 Tier 2 where the battles were a bit argy-bargy, you could say? How happy were you to keep that clean, Pluto, and come out on the top of it with Kagoda?
Yeah, it was fun. I think it was because it was more of a fun race. It wasn't really anything to do with it, so it was nice to keep it clean. I ran wide when I thought he was going to extend it just to give him that extra space. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Speaking of this event that we decided to do during the off-season, are you kind of interested in like pushing for another event like this? What would you think of this event being done in ARL?
Yeah, this was fun. If we get more people, it'd be great, because I think there was only 9 finishes, which is not the best.
Yeah.
I'd be up for more.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the win. Chili, do you have any questions?
Pluto, from your perspective in the race lead, like what was going through your head there, trying to just keep Kagoda at bay? Because Kagoda, he came so close so many times. So what was going on during that phase or the last few laps?
I went onto the softs when he went onto the super softs, so I knew he'd be quicker than me. He closed that gap straight away, but I knew towards the end of the race I'd have the tire advantage. So as long as I kept him behind, I didn't think it was going to be too much of a problem.
Yeah, definitely. It was an awesome battle to watch. I mean, up here from commentary standpoint, that was awesome to watch between you two, and it definitely got some good entertainment for this race. I'm really happy to see the racing that ARL provides, so it was really good.
Chili, you can talk to Kagoda for second place. Make sure your audio is included Kagoda.
Yeah, so Kagoda, you came so close, so many times to passing Pluto for the race win, and it was a whole race thing. You were so close so many times. How do you feel after that one? Because you came so close so many times.
Uh, don't really know, to be honest. Just had a bit of fun. Uh, yeah, I think maybe I think, what was it, Calm or something got spun, and then I think I was like beside Pluto in the turn one. I think that was my only chance, and the yellow flag messed up. But after the tires were sort of worn off a bit, and then I was much pace, and then the straight line speed as well was just nowhere with a default setup. I have no idea how that happened. I just loaded in and said 75 brake pass and then 60 differential. Like, what the hell?
But yeah, this is kind of like a question for you, Kagoda. But do you think you would have won the race easily if you got the chance to choose a setup there? Because I know you said you got forced onto a default setup, and that probably could have affected your performance. So do you think you could have won that race?
I don't know. I think still would have been close. I maybe would have had a few more chances to get past if I was running lower wings, which I had on my setup. But yeah, it's not guaranteed I would have won or anything.
But yeah, Pimpy, do you have any other questions for Kagoda here?
I do. You know, I guess you two fight each other like a man this time. That was good. By the way, a great battle. I enjoyed it. But my question is, based off this race, you know, the plan coming up to it and the way I kind of thought of it as an admin and as an owner was that, we'll probably get like 12, 11 people for this event. It'll just be boring, you know. Not many people are willing to make it. But, hey, it turned out better than I thought. And this is a way better event. Would you like to see another event done like this again in the future of ARL? And what do you kind of think of it overall?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot less serious than just going for points, because last season, season 2, it was obviously, we were battling very hard and just sort of going for it a lot more. But when there's less pressure and stuff on it, it's a lot more, well, it's a lot easier to enjoy it more. So yeah, I'd like to do it again.
Yeah, congratulations on the podium. Nice battle with Pluto. Not the way you maybe would have wanted to ended it, but hey, it's a fun race and it's the way things go. Love to see that battle and hopefully much more in the future for sure. So yeah, if you want to catch that, or if you like to see that, tune into Rocket League as well, where Chili commentates. He'll be commentating the grand final, probably later this week on Friday, Saturday, sometime in the weekend, I'd assume. But
I think so, yeah.
Regardless of that, that's when it should be. You will be seeing you commentate that 7 under 7s and calculated going at it for a grand final champion of the season. So yeah, it will be interesting to see who does that and who goes out on top. Make sure you tune into that whenever we're streaming. We'll give you an update a few days before if you're in the Discord of how, or not how long, but when it will be. We'll give an update on that. If you liked watching that, of course, watch more ARL, of course. That's the way it goes. And we'll be back for Season 4 for more like racing like that. Back on F1 2020. Of course, this was a one-off event, but definitely looks like from the driver's feedback, from what people thought, we should do it more, I guess. Maybe next time F1 2018, we'll see. But hey, that was a great one. Glad to see people watch, glad to see people tune in, glad to see the attendance be well, glad to see the quality as well. That's about it for today's stream, and that's about it for today's race. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.